Hi guys, welcome to today's Captain's Vlog. It's a little bit after noon on January 9th, 2017. And I lost Taylor. Oh.
How
you doing? It's flying poop. Well, it runs on a battery and it really doesn't have a guidance system because it's just a coaxial. It's got a little sensor in the bottom for when it gets close to the ground. We cannot autopsy this. This is the greatest thing ever.
No, we did one of these from the styrofoam balls.
Yes. This is better. This has poop. You could be on this. Dog doesn't care. Huh? Joey's been rocking out, moving stuff. Sure. What are you going to do with Joey? Oh, the present. Okay, yeah, radio him.
Thanks to Joey. Can you please come to the office?
It's flying poop. It's pretty much the greatest thing ever.
That's a lack of batteries about to happen there.
Flying poop.
Flying poop.
Coaxial poop. We know how to party.
Good afternoon, guys. We're going to be looking at some 3D scanning training today with Jerry. So let's have a look.
First, because it'll give you an idea of your expectations for scanning.
Okay.
So you know, Dan's just going to be blogging
Hi.
this for record.
Okay.
All right. And first off, let me scoot this table over. That can be property. So, first things first, in order to access the computers, currently the password is welcome 2016 with a capital W. Usually they're logged in, but if they're not, it's pretty easy.
If they're not, I don't have to remember. I can go to the front desk.
Yeah.
Good.
But it's just capital W, welcome 2016.
Okay.
We're looking to change it to something, you know, more timely and rememberable.
Okay.
But when you come over to the computer, first things you want to do is one, make sure that your 3D printer is on and everything's clear. If it's not on, for example, like that, what you'll do is you just reach back. There's a switch right here in the back.
Okay.
Back right. Just flip it on, and you're good to go.
Red means go?
Yep.
Okay.
So, next, we open up the program, Finia 3D.
I'm not going to remember any of this.
That's why we're blogging it.
Good.
And first thing you go do is click Initialize.
Finia 3D initialize. You gotta get in here too. Okay?
So, that'll tell the machine, hey, you need to find your home, get everything ready to go.
Yep.
Also let you know if your glass was off ever so slightly. Let me get that fixed.
And it doesn't matter that the glass is not clean.
So the glass actually has hairspray on it. And it provides a rough surface and a sort of glue for it.
Okay. So it doesn't slip while it's printing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, you need to go to maintenance.
Okay,
And
you're in 3D print and maintenance.
Yep, 3D
and you
print.
did initialize first and now maintenance, okay?
Yep. And we're going to hit table heat 1 hour. That doesn't mean it's going to take an hour for the table to heat up. It means it's going to apply power to the table for an hour.
Automatic shutdown. Got it.
Yep. That way, so it's got a heated table, which is important with most 3D printer plastics.
Okay.
When you extrude plastic, it's actually expanded a little bit because, you know, when it gets hot, it expands. So you want to make sure that you control how fast it's cooling. Otherwise, you can pop off the table or you can start warping.
How do you control how fast it's cooling?
by using the heated table.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So, once you have that going, you can start trying to find your 3D file. If you already have one, you just need to, plug it in, your USB drive in the front computer, do all that. Otherwise, you can go to thingiverse.com.
Thingiverse?
Yes.
Like thing-a-verse, okay?
Thingiverse.
Thing-iverse, okay?
Universe, but thing in the front. And we're just going to...
You're going to remember this, right?
Most of it.
We're just going to grab something simple.
Oh, yeah, let's do the clock. Oh, sunglasses. Okay.
Just going to... So, when you're on Thingiverse, when you find a file you like, you just go to Thing Files and you click on the file.
Okay.
Don't do the download all files thing, because it
Okay.
downloads a zip, file with like all the licensing information
Okay.
for it and all the images, and
Okay. So you instead you do what?
you just click on the file and it'll download just the file you need.
Okay.
So, we go to Finia. So you open up all your files through the program. You don't click on them.
Okay. Yep, that was it.
If it's not already in the downloads folder, you just have to go to Member, Downloads. You open that guy up. So, as you can see, scaling is way off because that's our platform table, and that's, this is proportional.
Okay.
So you can see that's that.
Oh, so in other words, that pair of sunglasses would be like this big.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all we have to do is, get the scaling to a more correct size.
It doesn't
More than
matter.
likely what happened was it was made in inches and this imports in millimeters.
Okay.
So if we just use this automatic conversion and hit scale, place. Now that's better, still not quite right.
Okay, so scale.
We can do that again.
Okay, so that just keeps doing the same thing.
Yep.
Now they're just a little too wide.
Mm-hmm.
So you do.
In this case, I'll just do half scale. Well, no, it's
Oh, that's a divide by, okay.
Yep.
0.5.
And then
0.5.
that applies.
Well, we'll see. There you go.
Now how do you print though?
Well, hang on.
Real quick, you notice it looks kind of funny.
Now it's off, yeah.
It's doing like this really weird graphic thing. In case of that, you need to go to Edit and Fix. And nope. Okay, we're gonna have to abandon this one
Okay,
because the person who made it did not make it correctly.
okay.
Usually, we can just go grab something. Apparently,
Cool.
just pop
What's
it.
that little thing? Green
This-
thing.
Looks
Oh,
like it's-
Moana.
We'll just grab this because that will be
Hard
just
to
as
beat.
easy. Open. So that is a thing when you're just downloading online. Sometimes,
Oh, there you go.
someone will have something that just does not work. So we're going to rotate. So when you bring it in, you'll usually have to rotate it, get it in position that will work correctly.
How do you know what will work correctly?
Basically, you want to think, if you were to drop this object, how would it sit?
Okay.
Oh, so it wouldn't be standing
So it
up
wouldn't
like
be
that.
standing up like that.
Yeah. So
So,
usually that's the best way.
Use the X and Y axis to.
uh-huh.
Okay.
You also have to think about what way is going to look best for what you have going. I just need my example pieces real quick, so I just need to go grab.
Buddha?
Yeah, these, all three.
Okay.
So, as you can see, each and every one of these is at a different quality. Each one has thicker, different layer sizes. See that? So
I
this
think
one
I
has
see it.
thinner layers than
That
this
has
does.
thicker layers. See the little lines on them, Dylan?
Yep.
Okay, so when you do use thinner layers, you get a,
You get more detail.
right, so just kind of more.
So, another thing is, if you look at
Like
the top of
HD.
his head, you
Uh-huh.
can see it's got this sort of like wood grain pattern.
Right.
So if you were to print this with this facing up, it building that curves is going to make that sort of wood grain pattern.
Oh.
However, if you have it going this way, it's going to, as you can see in this, you can see those very faint sort of engraving lines on the back.
Can you see that, Bill?
Those will get built up, you know, more cleanly. You'll get cleaner curves and whatnot.
So in other words, for that coin, you would want it standing on its end.
Yes.
Okay, instead of laying flat, like it would
Okay.
drop. Okay.
I am.
Because you'll get the detail on the face of it.
Yep. I am, however, going to turn it like this, so it's a little less tall. Because generally it takes longer to go up than it does to go back and forth.
Okay. Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah. And this will also
Because
give
it's
us.
an oblong.
Yeah. This will give us a wider base.
Uh-huh. And will it be able to stand up by itself while it's being printed? Because that seems unsteady.
It's actually going to be building support material around it. It's going to be building a scaffolding to hold it all up.
Will the scaffolding be able to come off, or will that be
Yes.
part
Cut
of
it off or whatever.
Okay.
Generally, you can peel it off. Sometimes you have to, you know, take a little
So
scraping.
the machine will create its own scaffolding that it's slightly
Yep.
different material so that it comes
Well,
off.
same material. It just prints it differently.
Okay.
It treats it differently.
Okay.
So, once you've got it rotated using the rotate tool, you can scale it to the size you want. Let's say we didn't want this like full size, we want it half size, so we should do half this scale.
So how
There we
big
go.
would that one be? Since you kind of know the material, would that be, that looks
That's
to
as
me
big
like it
as
would
the
be
Buddha.
about half as big as the Buddha.
So you know, each one of these is a centimeter.
Centimeter.
So that's going to be roughly
2, 3, almost
well,
3.
Yeah, almost 3 centimeters across. So that's going to be about an inch, a little bit over an inch long.
Okay. Yeah, so it would be smaller than Buddha.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Your last part here.
next thing
Amazon delivery?
is you need to know how long this is going to take and how much plastic is going to use.
Right.
So the way you do that is with the print preview. So you'll be able to do this as many times as you want. It'll, you know, pretty accurately tell you.
Where did you go for that? In file, like normal?
I
For
went to
print
3D print,
Oh.
print preview.
Okay, so everything really here is in 3D print there. The initialize and the...
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. File is, you know, if you when you open your file, simple as that.
That's, okay.
So first things first is you go to preferences.
Okay.
Now this will control how your part gets built.
Okay.
So your Z resolution is how thick each layer is.
Mm-hmm.
We have a scale between 0.15 and 0.4.
Okay.
So that's 150 microns and 400 microns.
So, like, wood grain Buddha, which one is he?
So
That's
this
him.
this is 0.4, 0.3, 0.15.
Okay, so this is the best it can be in terms of what you have on that printer, and this
Yep.
is the...
This is
Roughest.
yeah the roughest you can do.
Okay, so,
And this the time to print these is linear. So you know this guy takes twice as long as this guy because
Right.
it has twice as many layers.
okay. You understand why that is, Dylan? We'll talk about that later. Okay.
Right. So generally, best thing to do when you're, you know, just trying to get an idea of how long your part's going to take, you just click Restore Defaults to get everything to the default settings, and then you're going to basically be sticking everything into the middle. Just sort of like get a Goldilocks sort of settings.
Goldilocks.
Yeah, you're putting everything right in the middle.
Okay.
So that way you can always go up or you can go down.
Okay.
And to get your time better, to get your quality better.
Why don't they call it Mama Bear? She was into that. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we're going to do it in the middle, but we're still not going to print because you're still going through parameters, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course we're in the print preview, so nothing's going to get sent to the printer. So next up is your fill. Your fill is the actual inside of the part.
As
So as you
opposed
can
to
see
hollow.
here, so it's not wise to print hollow because then you don't have anything supporting the inside. And it's not wise to print completely full because then you're wasting plastic. Also, it's more likely to sort of warp and whatnot because this can't cool properly.
Okay.
So this right here is basically this setting right here.
Okay. And what's the differences in the fill in terms of the finished product? Like, Good Buddha has... Did he have different fill?
No. They pretty much, those all have the same fill. You either grab this one or this one. These are kind of interchangeable. They're close enough where it doesn't really matter.
Okay. If I wanted to make a really detailed piece. Would I want more fill or less fill?
No. You generally want to just go for something right in the middle.
Okay.
The big thing with fill is the more you have, the stiffer your part's going to be. The less likely it will be to flex and whatnot. However, for example, say you had a big sphere, like a little globe. If you went with the largest fill, it would be just as strong as if you had the smallest fill, because it's just the shape.
Yeah. Okay.
Generally, what you want for your fill is if you're going to have something sort of bar shaped, because it'll give you a better chance of it, taking that pressure.
So you would want stronger fill for that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, but for our little guy, because he's roundish, we could go with less?
Yeah. You can usually go with one of these guys.
Okay.
Just fine. Next up, we have the part section. This you can pretty much ignore.
Okay.
Just leave it at its default settings. This controls the angle this moves at, gets put in at.
Okay.
So rather than 45, it will do it at a 60-degree angle, and you can do the same thing by rotating the part on the table.
Yeah, got it.
Surface is how thick this bottom is. 3 is usually what you want.
Okay. All right. So.
Basically, yeah,
like
the
like
bottommost layer.
Okay.
In this case, do 3 layers. If you wanted the bottom to be, stiffer, say for example, if you're making some sort of stamp,
Yeah.
you could do that. Next up is support. This is where your actual support material is defined.
Okay.
So you have 2 settings. You have density and space. So the way your scaffolding is made up is you've got vertical sections and horizontal sections. The horizontal sections is the actual platform things get printed onto.
Okay.
The vertical section is basically there to hold it up to the right height. That platform is. Whereas space sets how close together the vertical sections are.
Okay. So if we had a bigger, heavier, well, not heavier piece, well, maybe heavier with the fill, we would want a little bit more space, less spacing.
No.
No.
So with density, basically, you can usually be fine with like 3 layers or 4 layers for your actual platform. Just sort of think of it as, how smooth do you want this platform to end up being?
Okay.
Because the less layers you have, the more it'll be affected by the little droops from it having to layer across.
Okay.
But 3 layers is a bit like, the flooring of your house. You've got your joists, your, subfloor, and then your main finished floor.
Okay.
Space, they usually just set that to 8 lines.
Okay.
That is literally how many lines are passing through this certain sized area.
Okay.
Nowhere in the manual do they say how big that area is, but 8's right in the middle, so it's good enough.
Okay.
So these 2 right here define when the actual support material gets made.
Right. Okay.
So area greater than means any part of your print that has an area greater than this will get support.
Right.
So I usually set that to 8.
What is that millimeter? Is that
It's
squared?
yeah, square millimeters. So anything larger than 8 square millimeters will get support material. This will keep you from having to worry about inside the little grooves in there from it trying to build support material because it's thinks it needs it.
Okay. All right. It went down to 15 now.
Oops. Those darn scroll wheel. So angle less than means any angle less than this will get support material.
Right.
Usually I set that to 45.
Okay.
Because generally if it's under 45, it's basically going to be drooping. If it's over 45, we'll be able to stack up.
Right. You get that? Okay.
The last setting in here is stable support. Basically what this means is generally your scaffolding gets printed in this sort of zigzag pattern and it's completely open to the air.
Okay.
So you could stick a stick in there if you wanted to. Basically it's just built a wall around it.
Okay.
For the most part, you don't need that. If you're printing something that, you wanted to be able to just peel off the scaffolding pretty easily, for example, if you're making a top, you could probably, that would be useful. but for the most part, you can just leave it alone.
A top as in terms of like a spinning
But yes,
top?
fancy top. Since it's going to be a thing where you're going to have basically an infinitely small point
Right.
and then this large cone.
We don't have that with that particular coin?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So,
Unsolid model.
so these here is your sort of printer options.
Mm-hmm.
Unsolid model, you do not have to worry about.
Okay.
That will check itself if it needs to be checked.
Okay.
Basically, it means there's some error in the model, and the software sees it, it acknowledges it, and it's going to do its best to fix it as it prints. Usually, it just means like the seam between two polygons isn't quite right.
Okay.
Next up is thin wall. So, this is a fairly special setting. Say you made a 3D model of your house, and you went crazy. Like you had the little handles on the doors, and you had glass in the windows and all that, and everything's to scale. And you decided, I want to 3D print this. So you shrink it down.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get it down to the size in which it'll fit on there, the glass in the windows is going to be smaller than atoms.
Okay.
So, normally it would see that and it would say, well, I can't print that, so I'm not going to try.
Oh.
Then wall says, I can't print that, but I can print the smallest wall I can.
Got it. That makes sense.
And lastly is no raft. Basically, that will turn off your raft. What your raft is a little piece of plastic that gets printed that serves as sort of a raft for your part to sit on.
Okay.
It gives it more surface area for it to grip, and it basically gives you a flat surface to build off of. Because we can get that pretty level, but we can't get it, perfectly level.
Okay. And that way you don't have to try and perfectly clean the glass every time. I get it.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, it just generally gives your part a more consistent finish. Because if you print straight in the glass, you'll end up with a glossy surface in the bottom, and everything else would be this sort of sandstone-y looking texture.
Okay.
And lastly is quality. Quality is how fast the head and table move back and forth.
Okay.
Normal is, what you want. Einstein right there was printed at normal quality.
But if you want something very detailed,
So,
really high definition, I'm going to want a higher quality.
no.
No.
Normal's perfectly fine. Basically, you have to remember this software is developed by a Chinese company who doesn't have, they didn't choose quite the correct words for everything.
Okay.
Quality, honestly, could just be change speed.
Okay.
So you have two other options, fast, which is going to save you like 15% of your time, but make your part look twice as bad.
Okay.
You don't care how it looks, you just want something. Like if you're making a doorstop,
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine.
A piece to support it. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
Fine, what that does is it basically slows it down by half.
Okay.
What this is useful for is if you have a print where a lot of really delicate parts. Say you're, making...
Daddy's figures.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got little tiny, little slivers.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got like a quiver,
Yes.
and it's got little tiny arrows coming out.
Yep.
That'll give it better chance of actually printing that.
Okay.
You'll still be pushing it in a lot of regards, but it'll give it time for the plastic to cool, and you don't have to worry about the surface tension of it moving away, bending your plastic.
Oh, okay. All right.
But again, normal's fine.
Normal's fine for this.
I mean, you can see what you can get.
Any
with
of these,
Einstein.
anything around here printed at fine? Or is this all normal?
It's pretty much all printed normal.
Okay.
Because a big thing is you don't really get any additional benefit.
Unless you're doing something really detailed.
Yeah,
Okay.
something really fiddly.
Okay.
And we can't really keep those out on the table because people, you pick it up and you break it.
Oh my, okay, so that wouldn't work for Daddy.
Well,
Because if it's going to be that fragile.
Well, what I'm saying is like the things
General?
that super benefit from that.
Okay.
It's going to have like little tiny parts. We used to have like these nice little fragile pieces sitting out, and again, people will just pick it up
Yeah.
and it's broken, and you can super glue it back together, but after about the 10th time, it just doesn't look
Daddy has a lot of plastic pieces. A lot of the futuristic soldiers are made of plastic.
So, your final little option is heat platform after finish. Basically, it just says, you know, once your print's done, it's just going to continue applying heat to your platform to make it easier to get off.
Okay, so do you want to do that?
Generally, it's fine, yeah. You can go for like 15 minutes. If you're going to be like right here when it finishes, it doesn't matter as much.
Okay.
But if you might be preoccupied with something else,
Okay.
generally you want to set that between 15 and 30 minutes.
Okay.
The other purpose of it is if you're going to be printing a whole bunch of stuff, and you know you're going to be, as soon as this one finishes, you're going to be going to something else.
Okay.
If it's still heating after it's done, you don't have to worry about it cooling down before your next print starts.
Right. Okay. So we're not going to print it. We're not going to print it.
All right. Oh yeah, sorry.
So a question, how long would something like that take?
Well, we hit OK, and it's going to slice it up in layers, run it through the conversion program. It's going to take 10 minutes.
2.4 grams. So how much does that cost on your prices? Just
15 cents per gram. So that's basically...
That's 30 cents, 35 cents.
Yeah, something around that.
Okay.
So, it's going to take 10 minutes. You want to get as close to an hour as you can in terms of how long it's taking to print, generally, because that's going to get you the nicest looking model.
Okay.
If you can't get it up to an hour, that's fine, but you always want to try to aim for an hour for your prints. Otherwise, you're just not getting the quality you're going to want out of your model.
Okay. So you're going to go back in and make some changes then?
Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to print preview.
Preferences.
And the first thing we're going to do is change our Z resolution.
All right.
I'm going to get that all the way to the bottom and see how that affects. So 19 minutes.
It's not a very detailed. So then...
So that's basically... The only thing I can do from there is make it bigger.
Right.
Which, if this takes 19 minutes, if I make it twice as big, it's going to take 40 minutes. So I'll just do that. Place.
So why the hour? Because of the cooling and time?
It's because it's just sort of a general rule. If you're doing less than an hour, generally you're rushing it. Mm-hmm. For a lot of models, especially things like Einstein or this little guy right here, trying to get that under an hour is going to be really pushing what the machine can do and what the model can handle.
Right.
And generally, it's just a sort of a satisfaction.
Okay.
Thing.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. There we go. Because your part's just going to look better. For example, I made this twice as big. It's going to take an hour and 26 minutes. Mm-hmm. So if we were then to just shave a little bit of time off, we'll make it 2 millimeters. Well, 0.2 millimeters for a layer. And now we should be right around an hour. 57 minutes.
57 minutes.
You just want to sort of try to get to that point.
Okay.
That way, because it's really easy to plan. I want to put an hour aside for this.
And that's easily how you get distracted and walk away, so you need the heat time afterwards.
So
I get it.
We're going to hit. So when you're ready to print, all you have to do is hit 3D print, and you'll notice all of our settings have transferred over.
Okay.
So at that point, you just have to hit OK. Now we're not going to.
We don't have to.
Yeah, we're not going to print this particular piece. But the way once you've actually hit OK on there, you start getting your printer ready for the print.
Oh, it's not ready. Okay.
So first off, you really should, just make sure there's a glass on it before you even start heating it up. While it's working, you're just going to take this and give it a little spritz.
Okay.
Part of the reason when you want it hot is so when it hits, it's just going to pretty much instantly, dry.
Okay.
I'm sure you felt a countertop that's had hairspray dried on it. It's like super rough. That just gives you, more grip.
Okay.
and basically that's, you know,
Then you hit initialize?
no,
Once you're done?
no.
Oh.
This, you pretend this
That one
button doesn't
need to be
exist.
there because you only used the one in the back.
You
Something else.
used to be able to hit this button to initialize the machine rather than go to the options. There's currently a bug in the software that if you do that, it won't accept data.
Okay. Hey,
It's-
let's not do that.
Yeah, so just pretend this doesn't exist.
Okay.
So, and that's sort of the basics of it.
Okay.
You know, at that point, your print will be going. Once it's done, all you have to do is very carefully, unclip this, unclip this. Keep in mind this plate's going to be 100 degrees Celsius.
Ah,
But if you just
so there's no pot holders?
we do have some gloves you can use.
Okay.
But generally, if you're just, since it's such a thin material, if you're just grabbing this, sort of prepare beforehand. Get your part right there and just pick up. The amount of your hand touching it is so low that it has a hard time transferring heat to you.
Okay.
You can see I can just sit here and hold this, and
Okay.
it's hot, but it's just such, it doesn't want to conduct it
Okay.
properly.
So first we go into 3D print and initialize, and then the next is 3D print and
Maintenance.
Maintenance,
To get your platform heating up.
and then the rest is all in. Then finding the file.
Yep.
What you want to do.
Get your file,
Okay.
get your preferences set, and print. In order to get your print off, it's going to have it on the platform like this. What you're going to do is very gently hold your print, and you're going to start working this under it, sort of sawing. This is not sharp. It's got a bit of a fine point here, but it's, you can't cut yourself in this. If your part's really stuck on there, like it just does not want to come off, we do have a scraper with a razor edge.
Okay.
The way you would use that is you would very carefully, going in this direction, you would hold this here, and you'd just get it started.
Yep.
And then you go
We
back and
really
use that.
recommend you do not use this for your actual removal.
Okay.
This is just to, break away, because one of the most common injuries in 3D printing is slicing your hand open using your scraper. As you can see from this nice little scar right here.
Yeah.
You're done. You don't remember what your weight was. You can. Usually there's not a table here. We're
Okay.
a bit of restructuring.
Yeah, but it
stuff
looks
like
nice.
that.
It's opening more.
And there's the scale over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
just turn it on. As you'll see, there's a little countdown. And the top is pounds, bottom is grams. You want grams.
Yep. Okay. And then just go over to you guys.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll ring you up.
Awesome. That was easy. It's pretty easy.
Yep. And so the general rule for like the printers and computers, generally you can use as many printers as you want or need. Just try to leave, one open for someone to come in. Or two. There's four. Yeah, just try to, not to hog up everything. If you need two, just so you're not going to be spending 6 hours. You want to be spending 3 hours
Yeah.
on your thing. That's totally fine.
Okay.
But that's that. Any questions?
There you go, guys. There's 3D printing in a nutshell.
That was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yes.
Close your eyes.
It's never ends.
Now tighten your gut!
Stick out your hands.
Oh yeah, clean hands. It's great.
I got
You got a mum blanket.
awesome.
You gotta check the other side. It gets so much better.
Like inside.
Yep.
Ah, John Deere tractors. That's awesome. This is a huge blanket too.
Well, you're a big guy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
The size of the blanket is direct measurement of how much mum loves you.
Oh, she
is
must
that?
love me.
What is that?
Looks like a little clip. Looks
There's
like
no
that's a
clip on it.
pocket.
There's a clip here for a thing.
I got no idea.
Oh,
Well, thank you.
mum loves you best.
That's funny. Awesome. Now I have a new blanket for my bed. That's really new.
That's all they need.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mom. Hi there, guys. I'm Chris Boden. Welcome to the Geek Group. It's time for viewer mail for January 9th, 2018. And we've got stuff. Let's see what we got. Ooh, I think I know what this is. And the guys up in Master Control are going to be pretty happy if this is what I think it is. So, we have, thanks to Danichi, the special red end crimp connectors that let us do the backbone feeds. Now we can have camera feeds into high voltage and a bunch of other places. So you guys see the big trunk lines will now get established. These are for you, sir.
Thank you, Danichi. Satisfyingly happy.
Yes. You can grab your buddy and be crimping today.
Gotta dry the cable first, but yeah.
Is there a note? Merry Late Christmas from Ben Kennett, who sends a light and a camera lens.
These were on our wish list.
Ah, okay, so this is a security camera lens. It's one of the E-mount ones. It's an interesting lens. There's no protection on the back and there's a lens cover on the front. Okay. Cool. That goes in the box to protect it. That can go off to funk. Stick that in there.
I can hand it to him.
Alright. This is a set of 12 volt LED lights. I don't know exactly who put these on the wish list or what they're for, but I'm very familiar with the lights. They're the same ones that we use on a lot of the boat stuff. Those are probably for a forklift thing.
Batman put them on the list.
Okay, it's a Batman thing. Cool. Thank you, Ben. This is heavy. And you know it's heavy because it even says heavy. Oh God, that sucks so bad. Taylor, I hate you. For those of you who are not familiar with my suffering, yesterday was Arm Day. And I'm still paying for it. Oh, yes! Oh my God, yes! Oh God, why do we do this on Arm Day? Serious cable reels. Who sent them? I didn't see a note. Who sent these? I want to love you. Danichi. Thank you, sir. These are awesome. Oh, I'm going to let Batman decide where they go. I trust his judgment.
I'm sure that the two of them had arranged the...
They probably have plans. They have ideas. They have schemes. All right. Who wants gummy bears? They're the super healthy Frou-Frou gummy organic bears. Organic gummy bears. Which are way better than the plastic ones. Who else wants gummy bears? Deny my gummy bears? You have no honor! Show me your honor! Show me your other honor.
Okay,
If you get those jokes, you're a horrible person. Because man, is that some of the dark places of internet comedy. Alright, that's viewer mail for today. Thank you, Ben and Danichi, for helping out today. You guys are awesome, and we will be back after lunch.
Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome to Beefcake Vlog. Time is 14:29 on January 9th, and Batman's got a thing. We're gonna go see what Batman got. Batman, you got a thing! You got a thing? Oh, look at that!
So our old Ingersoll finally died.
Yeah?
Let's go pick up a new compressor.
That's an angry looking compressor.
I would not have bought a Husky. Huskies are black. No, I went to an actual air compressor dealer. We got the hookup.
You got the real deal.
The real deal. People at Michigan Air Solutions are awesome. They hooked us up. Pretty cool.
What, you got 80 gallon?
80 gallon, 7.5 horse, 3-phase.
Yeah, look at that monster.
Chooch chooch.
It should.
Still chooch.
So what was the old one, Batman?
It was an Ingersoll Rand. It had a little 5-horse motor on it.
So this one's 7.5?
This is 7.5. This has also got way more flow. So things like the sandblasting cabinet should go better and stuff like that.
Nice.
This also maxes at 145 psi, or the other one was only 120,
Ooh.
which is what most little ones are like that. But so yeah, it's a thing.
It's pretty.
And, we're gonna get her hooked up and running. She also has a cooling system on it. Like once it runs, it can cool for a minute. It's kind of cool, so
That's sweet.
it shouldn't burn itself up like the other one did.
Nice.
May or may not have walked into the room earlier and actually saw smoke in the air.
That's not good. That's bad.
That's why we have a new one.
So we got Quincy QT75. Oh, she's a beauty. You want to bring the door down?
Yeah, go ahead, bring the door down. Alright, it's lunch. After lunch, I'll be installing it, and I'll come poke you again when we're ready to turn around for the first time.
That sounds good.
But we're going to be doing a bit of mojo. We're going to continue to use the old tank as a reservoir tank to help demand. So it'll be a minute to get it all plumbed up and ready to go. But
So by the time we get done with this, we'll have the 80-gallon tank plus...
the 60-gallon tank.
Nice. Nice.
Yep.
That'll be good. All right, guys. You heard him. We'll be back. It's lunchtime.